Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Abundant Living No Regrets. This week I'm coming to you from beautiful London, not quite as hot and sunny as the Italian Riviera, but actually not that far off. Every week I'm going to be speaking to you about how you can live an abundant life full of no regrets, discussing tips, ideas, so we don't look back on life and actually think, God, I wish I'd tried that. So this week we're going to continue on the success theme. We touched on the fact last week that it's really imperative that we think big and we surround ourselves with inspirational people who are going to support us on our journey. And this week what I want to do is examine potentially how we can dissolve blocks around success. Because on our journey to being successful and living an abundant life, we are going to, or bound to, encounter things that get in the way. So by this I mean it could be the fact that you want to be fit, healthy, thin, but actually you have a complete aversion to the gym. You know, that's not really going to help you. It could be the fact that you want to be a public speaker, but you are scared of the stage. Or it could be the fact that you've got an amazing business, and to expand that business you've got to fly all over the world, but you hate to fly. You know, we're all going to come up against things which essentially will stop us on our journey. So I'm going to talk you through an experience that happened to me last week in Italy, because potentially it could have ruined my holiday actually if I hadn't have found a way to break the block down. So in my early 20s I came off a moped when I was travelling around the Cook Islands, and I literally got on this moped and very quickly, promptly fell off. But of course when I came off, I bruised not only my ego but my leg and my arms, and you know, I really kind of scratched myself up quite badly. And since then I have literally avoided any opportunity to get on the back of a bike or a moped, and every time I've gone away I've completely ignored it and no, it doesn't happen, we'll take a car. So when I got to Italy, the only way to travel in Italy is on the back of a moped. But when I first got there, I was like, no way am I getting on a moped, because all I could do was associate pain to that. I literally would focus on the rocks or the gaps, or, you know, the fact that I had nothing on my arms, and if I came off it would be almost certainly sudden death in my eyes. But thanks to my friends, David and the wonderful Shamash, who I interviewed 2 blogs ago, David especially helped me overcome that fear. And the process we used I thought would be worth sharing with you, because actually when you come up against blocks in life, this could be very useful. So initially getting me on the back of a bike was very difficult, but what David wisely suggested was that I listen to something I have a positive association to. So you know the song David Pharrell Williams, Happy Song? Well, I've listened to that so much and I love it, and obviously every time it comes on I just want to boogie and dance. So the first couple of times I got on the bike, well actually for probably about 3 or 4 days, I listened to this song whilst I was on the back of the bike. And of course my brain really didn't know what to do, because on one hand my brain was having fun and it was happy and it was listening to this amazing song that it really enjoyed. On the other hand, every now and again it would flit to the fact that, oh my God, I've got nothing on my arms, this potentially could be really dangerous. So what it was essentially doing was starting to rewire the neural pathways in my brain. Now that was a good start, but it still wasn't effective enough for me to get on a bike without having any fear. And you know, during my trip in Italy we wanted to travel probably about an hour and a half on a motorbike, not only on a motorbike but on a motorway, and there was no way in the world I could still attempt that. So stage 2 of the neuro association scrambling technique was to get on the bike and talk about something that I have a positive affiliation with. Now, as you can imagine, I started to talk about sex. So every time I got on the bike, as well as listening to the music, we would talk about sex. Now, it's very difficult for you as an individual to be scared when you are talking about something that you obviously enjoy. So this is what I would call scrambling the association, because my brain not only had to deal with the music, which it loved, it was also now talking about something which it enjoyed. So every time we would do these 2 things, and slowly but surely it got easier and easier to get on the bike. Now, the final stage of the process was one night we got to the point where I could get on the bike and actually go down a hill with the engine off, with the lights off. So I was doing pretty well to go from being scared to get on a bike at all to getting on a bike now with the engine off in the dark. But I think the final experience that happened to me, which now just gives me an amazing feeling when I think about being on the bike, was on this pathway we suddenly came across 50 almost fireflies, which are obviously all lit up in the dark, and it was like being on a Disneyland ride, like It's a Small World or something. And we kind of went through this beautiful tunnel of lucciolas, as they call them in Italy. So now my brain can only but and purely associate positive things towards being on the back of the bike. And I found my mindset shifting. You know, I was now like really enjoying the breeze and the wind in my hair, and I was really enjoying the scenery, and you know, by the end of the week I was actually considering how, or should I even buy a bike in London, you know, to go from not being able to get on a bike through feeling really physically sick and scared to actually considering buying a bike at the end of the week. You know, that's a pretty strong shift. So I tell you this story because I want you to think about anything that you may have an aversion to, or something that you don't necessarily enjoy, like the gym, as we said, if you're trying to lose weight, or flying. And think about how you could adopt this technique. So say you're going to the airport and you usually would get really nervous, you know, listen to your iPod, talk to your friends about amazing things, start to change the neural association that you have. It's really important that we remove the blocks to success if we are going to live an abundant life with no regrets. So I would love to hear how you get on. If you've got something that you potentially are fearful around or scared, you know, try this out. Try and scramble your brain's association to whatever it is you have fear around. So I'd love it if you could share this blog, share it with your friends, and I ask that you leave comments and tell me your ways. What are the things that you do to help you be successful? Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks.